My name is Shanna Brodbeck, and I'm the Program Director of Auburn University's Skill Program, which offers academic coaching for students who learn differently. Skill students have learning and executive functioning challenges, and we serve students with a variety of diagnoses, including students on the autism spectrum. I was invited by the Regional Autism Network to talk about some of the study strategies we teach to our students, and I really appreciate the opportunity. I like to use comparisons, and I often tell my students that seeking the perfect study strategy is like seeking the perfect nutrition plan. If someone wants to lose some weight, they can find hundreds of books and plans to help them with that goal. Some plans will work better for one person than for another, but at the end of the day, we know that the key to weight loss is really a caloric deficit. Basically, you need to consume fewer calories than you burn. There are several ways to do that, but at the end of the day, that is what you have to do. We also know that for meaningful, sustained weight loss, a 1 to 2 day crash diet does not work. Studying is the same in that there are hundreds of strategies and techniques, but the root of them all is simply repeated exposure. Basically, to learn and ultimately retain information, you have to expose your brain to the material in short chunks of time over a long period of time. That's it. That's the key. And just like with crash diets, trying to learn a month's worth of information the night before a test, i.e. cramming, does not work. Yet we continue to try these methods, which is often due to poor planning, ineffective time management, difficulty with task initiation, or just a lack of knowledge about a better plan. When I talk to my students about study strategies, I often ask them, do you want to study more or less? Of course, they always answer less. So I remind them that by studying strategically and breaking down their study sessions into small chunks of time, but spreading it across multiple days and weeks, they are not only learning more effectively and getting results, but they are spending short periods of time studying, and then the remainder of their day is available for more enjoyable activities. By spending a little time looking at your weekly schedule and setting aside 45 minutes here and there for an intense study session, they are actually taking control of their life, using their time effectively, and allowing for more free time in the end. So today I want to teach you that better plan, the study cycle developed by Dr. Sandra McGuire at LSU, adapted from Frank Christ's PLRS system. Dr. McGuire has numerous resources on the study cycle. Just conduct a quick Google search if you want to learn more. I also have cited her book at the bottom of this page. The study cycle teaches 5 basic steps to studying. I like to break them down into 2 parts. Part 1 are steps 1, 2, and 3, preview, attend, review. And part 2 are steps 4 and 5, which are study and assess. So preview occurs the day before or the day of class. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes. All you have to do is skim the material you will be learning that day. If your professor has already provided the PowerPoint, start there. You can also look at the assigned reading or chapter, but you don't have to read it in depth. Just don't tell your teacher I said that. Just skim it and think about what you will be learning that day. And the next step is to attend. That's it. Just simply go to class, pay attention, and take notes. Now, the third step is the one many students ignore, but I would argue it is the most important, and that step is review. As soon after class as possible, review your notes and fill in any missing information. This step will take between 10 to 30 minutes, depending on the length and depth of the lecture. Because this third step is so critical, I have some other tips for making it even more effective. So instead of just reviewing your notes, rewrite them. And bonus points if you go ahead and rewrite them into a study guide form or into flashcards or Quizlets. Now, if you really want to make the most of this step, add in some progressive note review. Here's how that looks for a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class with an exam each month. For your first lecture on Monday, preview the PowerPoint before class, attend class, then review your notes after class that day. For the second lecture, preview the PowerPoint before class, attend class, and then review your notes from the first and second lecture after class that day. On the third lecture, preview the PowerPoint before class, attend class, and then review notes from the first, second, and third lecture that day. You can see where this is headed. If you try this method, when it comes time to sit down to really study for your exam, you will have reviewed the first lecture's notes 12 times, the second lecture's notes 11 times, and so on. Remember, what is the key to effective learning and retention? Exposing your brain to the material in short chunks of time over a long period of time. Now with this method, obviously the study sessions get progressively longer the closer you get to the exam, but you will also be more efficient with the material you have reviewed the most. If you want to see how this method works, I want you to think about the traditional Christmas carol, The 12 Days of Christmas. What does the true love give on the first day of Christmas? I'll give you some time to think. Okay, on the first day of Christmas, they give a partridge in a pear tree. Now, what does the true love give on the 12th day? And to be honest, I actually have no idea. And why is that? Because when you sing the carol, you repeat the first verse 12 times, but you only repeat the 12th verse once. I would even venture to bet you can remember days 1 through 6 pretty clearly, but it starts to get fuzzy after that. One more real-world example for how the preview, attend, review steps work together. Imagine you see a trailer for a movie. That's the preview part. The trailer gives you some very basic plot information about the movie, but nothing substantial. Then you go see the movie, attend. During the movie, you may pick up on a few things because of what you saw in the trailer, and you already have a general idea of what the movie is about. Now, imagine you watch the movie again. That's review. You see all kinds of things you did not see the first time you watched it. You recognize foreshadowing, you make connections you missed the first time, you understand the movie on a deeper level. Now I know preview, attend, review is not as much fun as watching The Rise of Skywalker on repeat. Thank you, Disney Plus. But hopefully this example helps you understand why it works. Now on to the last 2 steps of the study cycle, study and assess. For studying, if you have been following steps 1 through 3, when you sit down to study, you will have a good foundation, so you are not necessarily learning the information from scratch or having to memorize it, but instead you are ready to truly comprehend the information on a deeper level, which is critical for success, especially at the college level. Your study sessions should be short and follow the schedule below. First, you set a goal. It takes about 1 to 2 minutes. What do you want to accomplish in your studying today? Then you study with focus. You set a timer for 30 to 50 minutes, put your phone on Do Not Disturb, and study with intention. You can compare and contrast different concepts, summarize what you've learned in your own words, or use my favorite method, the question words. Now imagine you are an instructor and you have to create an exam that assesses your students' knowledge of the material. You have to create exam questions. What are you going to use to do that? Question words. Now we learned those in elementary school. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. So when reviewing your material, simply filter your broad concepts through those words. Let's say you were studying World War II. Who are the key players? Where was the war fought? When did it begin and end? How did it end? What technology was used? You're basically anticipating potential test questions and moving past rote memorization of material to understanding it on a deeper level. Within the study session, after you've set a goal and studied with focus and your timer's gone off, reward yourself for about 10 minutes. Take your phone off Do Not Disturb, check your messages, scroll through Instagram, walk outside. But come back after 10 minutes and follow up with a 5-minute review. Come back to your work and think about what you studied so you know what you need to do for the next study session. Now for the last step, assess. A couple times a week, really think about what you understand and what you still need to review or even get some help on. The best way to do this is explain it to someone else. If you find that you can clearly explain a concept to someone else in a couple of minutes without drawing a blank or consulting your notes, you have likely mastered that material. If you stumble, you probably need to review it again. If you can't or don't want to explain it to someone else, just explain it to yourself, but give yourself honest feedback. Okay, so that's it, the study cycle. Preview, attend, review, and then study and assess. Thank you for listening today. I hope I gave you some helpful tips. And remember, you can always look Dr. McGuire up on Google or YouTube for a more in-depth review of her study tips. If you will be attending Auburn, or if you attend Auburn currently, please look us up on auburn.edu/skill. Thank you again to the Regional Autism Network, and I hope everyone has a wonderful summer, and War Eagle. Bye.